Hi. It's a pre-show. You guys, how come you stopped saying anything when we started? I'll notice on the last two shows, there's no welcome to the Amigos podcast. It's just like right in the middle of a story.
No. I do that. We did the hi, welcome to Amigos, but it got cut off. When I hit the button, we've got to wait 10 seconds.
So right now, I've been we should just do it again. Hi, welcome to the pre-show.
It's the pre-show.
Now tell your story.
I didn't know the definition of the word narc as in snitch for a long, long time because I always associated narc with the game at the skate arena, which was the game that they had at the skate arena.
Yeah, but that's why it's called narc.
Is that why? It doesn't stand for narcotics agents?
It does. But it can mean two things.
That's true.
That's true. I built a MAME cabinet. Well, I didn't build it. Actually, I bought a MAME cabinet that was built out of a narc. It's sitting over at Teresa's sister's house. I need to sell that, by the way.
Is it getting used over there?
Not a bit, because he moved out. I told him I'd try to sell it. I've never gotten around to really digging in and trying to sell it. Anybody needs a narc cabinet, I know where you can get one cheap.
Does it already have the PC and everything in it?
That's all going to go away. I'm telling you, Raspberry Pi, baby.
Yeah.
It's the new MAME cabinet.
That's true.
It's the way you just do it, and it never breaks.
Yeah.
I tipped into Raspberry Pi during my downtime this week. Me and the little guy played a bunch of old C64 games and some other stuff on it. It's a beauty, man. We played some, we played a lot of. I was trying to show some old platformers, so we played Jumpman Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Great game.
What do you think of that?
Loved it. He loved it. And then we played Pitfall 2. He loved that. He loved it. And then we played Montezuma's Revenge. Remember that one?
It's a tough one. That's a
tough one. And he wanted me to play it, but whenever the guy would get killed, he would fall on his head and those little legs would go like, and he would cackled with delight about that. He thought that was the funniest thing. He played the hell out of Jumpman Jr. though. I was so proud.
Well, that's great.
I just sat back.
You're doing it right when the kid likes Jumpman Jr.
So this week, my goal, this is the goal, is to get the WHD Amiga stuff set up on the Pi.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I ordered a Kira version 2 from Amy Amiga Kit in November, which I've mentioned this a couple times on the show.
November
27th. This is February 16th.
Mm-hmm.
No Kira version 2, right? I've been back and forth with these goofs over here, and they said they wouldn't even touch it until 2 months had passed. And they're like, well, we'll put an investigation out because something must have happened. You should have used the better shipping. They're kind of like, because of my fault. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
It's hard.
Do they have a record that they shipped it out?
Yeah. So they're investigating right now, but then they inform me, well, the guy who got on your case, he's out till Thursday.
Yeah. It's one of those, in Europe, they have holidays just, twice
well,
a
I think,
week.
it's funny. I read somewhere that the dude's having his wife's had a baby. So through the Amiga Facebook forum, someone mentioned, he goes, I got a friend that works over there, but he's out now. His wife's had a baby. I'm like, I bet that's the guy right there. I can't hold an Amiga Kit. I can hold him. I do hold them partially responsible because we're this long into it. I've got no action.
Yeah.
And there's no refund. Here's your money back. We're sorry it's taking so long. If it shows up, ship it back. So I went ahead and said, to hell with it, and just bought me another one. It's also coming from Germany.
Well, and that's the reason why Amazon gets $1 out of every $2 spent in this country. Because when you need to return something, you return it, and they don't give you any guff.
Well, this leads me to the story I was talking about with trying to find that name of that guy who was starting the American.
Right. What's the update on that?
Well, it's I posted a video this week on the site. We can talk about that when we do the notes on the site. But and these guys are doing like a fundraiser to give money to developers for the new Amiga, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
And he briefly mentioned this on the podcast they did, but they didn't have what I needed. And I looked over their inventory, and it's kind of nutty. They don't have a ton of stuff, but they've got stuff, And hopefully they're doing okay. In the video, they go into like how much money it's costing to start the business. And I think the video is 3 weeks old. I just found it. They need to advertise more. I had a hell of a time finding it, to be completely honest with you. I had to Google around and before I turned it up. So, man, I hope they get a foothold because it would be having to order all this stuff overseas is a real pain in the butt for us.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, like I said, Amiga Kid, I've ordered I think 2 or 3 things from him, and I've never had any problems.
But that guy's not going to sell any of the stuff that you want, right? He only sells the new stuff, the X1
He's got
and all
some
that
older stuff. He's got a few things, but he wouldn't hurt him to stock. I would at least stock the new stuff that's coming out for the old Homestead.
Right, but then he probably runs into the same problem that we do, where he's just ordering it from somewhere else.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I ordered a lot of stuff from Europe, and usually I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
China, that's a whole different ball game. But Japan, I've never had any problems.
I've never lost something coming from China recently, like within the past 4 years.
I can't remember anything
like that air packet, whatever that is that they send stuff from when you get stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
It's pretty reliable.
I want this Kira. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Have we talked about what this is?
Yeah, it's that Japanimation. Akira.
No, not Akira. No. It's the thing that lets you interface a C64 keyboard.
Agree to disagree.
Well, it could be both.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to put my Pi in there, I notice a lot of the Pi emulation stuff requires a keyboard. So I'll have my arcade Pi, and then that doesn't no keyboard, and then I'll have one that does all the computer stuff and all the emulation. Now, yes, I know I've got an Amiga and I've got a C64, but it's more convenient for me to have space issues to have all that in one little machine that's sitting there on my desk that I can hook up to the TV and take it around. So it should be cool. When I get it, I'll document the process and blah blah blah. But I'm looking forward to it.
I am in the process of perhaps purchasing something new.
Is this what you were talking about? I think I read about.
Yeah, if you've seen on Twitter, I've kind of changed things around here in the Amigos studios, brought some brought some computer desks I had lying around, some glass top computer desks.
You just have those lying around?
Yeah. And I do a lot of work for people, and they often have excess furniture, and since I've got unlimited space here at the house, I never say no.
Unlimited, eh?
Yeah, I mean, really.
I see the limits coming.
The limits are coming soon. I need to stop saying no, or start saying no. But anyway, so I put those out in kind of an L shape, and then I put the computer desk where the main PC tower is, and so it makes sort of a horseshoe shape now. And so I've got desk space. I put out my Mac Plus, my Atari 1200 XL, the Amiga 500 is set up right next to the tower. We'll talk about this on the show, but Jason Warnes has given us what we've so long desired, a way to hook up the Amiga to the video capture card. But anyway, I've got another desk that is currently occupied by my old iMac, this 2008 Core 2 Duo iMac. It's really useless. There's nothing that I have on there that I really want. It's not new enough to be useful in any kind of modern sense, but it's not old enough to do what I want to do with old Macs. So I am going to wipe the hard drive. See, the problem is the optical drive is bad. There's a disk stuck in there, and it's so old that I can't boot from a USB. And so I need to restore the hard drive with the restore disks. I've got an external drive that I pulled out of my PC. I've got an external SATA kind of thing that you slide any kind of a SATA disk drive or anything into. I'm going to use that to restore and erase the iMac drive, and I'm going to list it on eBay.
Is this iMac? Is this one of those? When I think iMac, and I'm not a Mac guy, as you know, this isn't the little multicolored all-in-one gimmick, is it?
Gaze to your right.
It's that big screen one, so I'm thinking even much older.
Yeah. This is
because those were god awful.
Well,
those were
they were
pretty.
Machines, they have a certain charm.
Yeah, they're charming just as you launch them out a third-story window.
But yeah, they were not great machines when they were released. But it was a Mac that you could buy for under $1,000, which was very rare.
It is rare because normally your printer cable is up around $8,900.
Right, and but the worst thing was not the iMac. The worst thing was when all the PC manufacturers tried to make their clones of the iMac.
That's
you remember
true.
when
Gateway
everything was that translucent plastic.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And I still, when I worked at the computer store, I'd see those come in. I'm just like, man, what a bad era.
Yeah, it was a bad
we can
time.
customize your case. I never said, who cares what color the case is?
That goes on today. Think about LEDs.
Oh, I know. I know. I mean, I look at a computer almost like a toaster. Mm-hmm. Who's going to decorate their toaster?
It's
not like the Amiga. I mean, even with an older Apple, which you're not going to want to decorate one. Let's say you have an Apple II sitting around, right? You're not going to But I mean, it's a sort of at this point they're sort of venerable piece of art.
Yeah.
But
I will disagree with you a little bit. I think that the machine that I'm going to bid on is a G4 tower, and I think that this thing is beautiful. And Power Mac G4 tower.
What year would this have came out?
2002, 2003.
And what is this going to do for you that the other one doesn't?
Okay, I'll tell you. So this machine is an Intel processor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the machine I want to get is a PowerPC.
Oh,
so if you want to run any of the legacy OS 10 operating systems, you have to do that, and also it can dual boot into OS 9.2.
Mm-hmm.
There are no emulators that can emulate OS 9.2.
Yeah, when you said it was PowerPC, that's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
That explains it.
So I'm looking at one.
It's this one. The one you put over there is what? How old is it?
This one is from 2008.
Yeah.
So there's so I'll go ahead and pull it up so people can see.
They're gonna start bidding against you right away.
Yeah.
Wham.
Don't bid against
me. Go
to
work, folks.
He's
got too much crap down here.
Let's see here.
You love your new toy, don't you?
Oh, I do.
We're gonna be hovering in front of a lot of weird crap, like this, for example.
So
I'm gonna bid. Wrong arm.
This is it right here. Let's get a big picture of it. It comes with the cinema display. You can't tell me that's not a.
That looks bad. That is one ugly computer.
I think
it looks like you could break it real easy.
I think that we have different tastes.
What do the little buttons do? Is that where you set your AM stations?
So this is the exhaust right here.
That's exhaust.
Okay. This is a speaker. It's got a speaker front.
It's mono.
Well, yes. And this is a mirror dual drive. They call it the MDD.
Mirror dual. What's that mean?
Well, it's a mirror, and there's two.
There's a mirror on the front of this thing?
That's what that is. That's a mirror.
So if I looked in that, it's a mirror.
Yeah.
Just like you could...
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Look at that. That's beautiful. The cinema display. And you got to remember, this is in the day, in 2002, you weren't seeing flat screen displays very often. So this was a rare breed. And the way that this thing folds out, there's a thing on the side. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a little keyhole, and you pull it out, and then you twist it, and the whole side of the case folds down, so you have full access to the motherboard.
That's unusual for Apple.
Yeah,
who have motored it. You cannot work on any of the devices ever again.
Right. This was during that very small period of time when they were actually doing things right.
You know what this looks like? If anyone up there has ever worked on a what were those things called? A compact. Remember Compact? They got bought.
Oh, yeah.
And so they had, if you took the front, because it had this weird plastic on the front that we were just talking about. If you took the front off, it would look like that. It looks like someone took the front off.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
That's nice. Yeah, that's not too bad.
So like I said, this is this is the pinnacle. This is the machine.
So what would this allow you to do?
So I can run OS 9.2.
Okay,
and I can play games on that. And it's a nostalgia thing. When I first got into Apple, it was during this time period, and I want to play some of the PowerPC, the late PowerPC games that I had back in the day.
Now, how far back in the Apple catalog can this thing go?
It can play anything all the way back to System 7.
So could this play the Mac, the one I was talking about the other day that had a real cool version of Rocket Ranger?
Yeah. No, it can't. It can't do Apple IIgs stuff. But if there was,
that's the one thing I was hoping it would do.
If there was a Rocket Ranger port, like it can play like games that are for like the Mac that Mac Plus that I have. So all the 68,000 stuff, it has a some sort of a doodad inside of it that will run that.
And what's it currently at? If I may ask.
So the current bid is the starting bid is $50.
Buy now, $200.
Buy now, yeah.
Pay the man.
I will probably not do that,
Mr. Moneybags.
But the shipping is pretty reasonable. $21.
Where's it coming from?
It's coming from Florida.
Okay. Well,
so
that's cheap. That seems pretty cheap to me.
Yeah,
and it works, eh?
Yeah, I mean it fires up. So
think you can get $200 out of that thing?
No, I will be lucky to get $100 out of that.
Why?
Because it's
got a disc stuck in it. We can get that out of there.
Have you ever opened up one of those things before?
Let me tell you something. I've been inside much worse than that thing.
Hey, I would love it if we could do an Amigos Live special.
We can't hurt it.
Okay.
By God, I'll get a pair of garden tongs. I mean, I'll get in there and just forcibly birth that sucker right out. Let me guess, it's one of those zero insertion.
Right.
God, those are stupid.
Yeah.
What a stupid idea.
Yeah.
We'll get it out. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Well, we will stay tuned for some Mac surgery. Anything else going on in your world right now?
I went to that neat concert. We could probably talk about that.
Tell me about the concert.
It was.
But before you do, shall we imbibe some Glenlivet?
Yes.
This is a 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey, a Speyside. That is the region of Scotland that it comes from. This was given to me by our good friend Matt Beckett.
I know him.
And he is
single, ladies.
You know that around the holidays he's always quite generous.
Oh yes, he is.
And he gifted me this bottle. And this is the nicest stuff I've got, and it's almost
That's
gone.
the best stuff, eh?
It is. It's the very nicest bottle I have.
He always gets the good stuff, though. That's a fact.
He does. This is I guess the Glenlivet is the location of the distillery, so that's what they call that. All right, here we go.
Salud.
Salud. It cracks me up every time you just shoot it down like it was cheap vodka.
It's not bad.
You gotta savor it, man.
I do savor it internally. So anyway, I went to this video game. What was this thing called? Video Games Live.
Right, Video Games Live.
And
the West Virginia Symphony
Orchestra.
Virginia
Symphony.
In the Clay Center?
Fronted at the Clay Center. Mm-hmm. And they also had the West Virginia State Choir as well, which was nice. And it was hosted by Tommy Tallarico. I knew him he used to host a review show on G4.
Really?
You remember? Do you remember G4 when it was just video games?
Yeah.
There were two review shows. There was X-Play. Everyone remembers that one. Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler, right? Mm-hmm. Morgan Webb was the hot chick. Mm-hmm. Adam Sessler was the nerd that could never obtain this sort of woman. There was another review show. I can't remember the name of this one, but it was Tommy Tallarico and another guy. Another guy was good. I liked their show better because they gave better reviews.
Was the show called Another Guy?
No. There was another guy that I can't remember with Tallarico.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the show. But Tallarico has had a long, storied history of music in games. He's been making music for years and years and years and years. I think he said he was in the world record for the man that had worked on the most games.
Interesting.
That's what he said.
Was he at EA? It seems like...
it's funny. I don't think they did any of his music, which I thought was amusing. And so... The whole gimmick would be they had 3 big screens behind an orchestra and a choir, and he would introduce just to throw one out there. He did a Pokemon. Mm-hmm. They did a bunch of
you choose me and I choose.
Well, no, they didn't do that. It was more like from the games. Oh. And they did just the ones I can remember off the top of my head. They did a Pokemon medley. They did a lot of medleys. They did. A Final Fantasy VII. That's how they closed the show with that.
I'm sure the crowd went nuts, right?
The nerdier parts of the crowd.
What was the crowd like? I'm interested to know what the makeup was.
I'll be not candid on this show, and I will say they were. How can I put this without saying the word douchebag? Let's go with sleek, white urbanites.
Okay.
With. That are sort of nerdy. Mm-hmm. I was given these tickets by my girlfriend for Christmas. She thought this would be something I enjoyed, and I did enjoy it, but not probably on the level that she thought I would, because 80% of the games they played videos for, I don't like.
Yeah. The kind of music that you and I both enjoy comes from gaming's earlier eras.
For example, there's no one going to put out a soundtrack for Frogger Joust. Because Joust doesn't have a soundtrack. Actually, Frogger's got a cool little tune. But
isn't it Dixie? What is the... I don't think that's Frogger. Frogger is...
That's it. I'm telling you, that's it.
I think you're singing Mr. Do, because that's what I was singing a second ago. When you started Mr. Do, gave...
Yeah, you might be right. Well, anyway, they didn't do Mr. Do either. A gross oversight. In fact, I thought I'm gonna take my phone, this phone here, and I'm gonna film the first thing that they perform that appeared on the Amiga.
And you did it.
And I did. And hilariously, the first and I believe only thing that they performed that was a licensed Amiga title was Street Fighter II. They did a medley of Street Fighter II songs.
Okay.
And they were Street Fighter 2's got good music.
Yeah, it does.
And the Street Fighter 2, as we've discussed, was horrible on the Amiga. But I taped it. I'm going to put it up on the Amigos. They begged us to post this stuff. I could put it up, and we put it up. But they did a lot of Japanese. They did your Marios, and they did what are some other games that you just figured they would do?
James Bond.
No, seriously. You know a lot more about modern gaming.
Well, Final Fantasy, of course.
Yes.
Halo.
Halo. They did Halo with the head choir. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, these songs were cool. Hey, say what you want about the game, but the music's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
They did, what's that big game on the Genesis everybody likes? Freaking Chrono Trigger. They did a medley of Chrono Trigger.
Not a Genesis game.
You can see where I thought Chrono Trigger appeared
Super
on
Nintendo.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Phantasy Star was Genesis.
That's it. That's my bad. You're right. They did Chrono Trigger. It was all the things you would think that a modern, sort of a 20s, 30s guy would dig.
Right.
You know? They mostly filled the place. It wasn't totally full. It was a lot different than the other. I've only been to the Glacier twice. The first time I saw the ABBA tribute band, which was great. That place.
You've only been twice to the Glacier.
The only time I've been to see the show.
Yeah, inside the theater.
I've been there other times, but that place was more packed. But it was with an older crowd. Like a lot of people have season tickets there. They go see the ballet and stuff. This was all. I was the only. I told Teresa, if we're going to see the orchestra, I'm going to wear my nice suit. I was one of the only people in the entire place wearing a suit.
It's
I felt like
casual.
a jackass.
Yeah, now if you go see the symphony, it's a different scene,
well,
like it on a Saturday night.
You know, when we saw ABBA, I just dressed like my usual slob self.
Was everybody dressed
and
up?
everyone else looked great. They were all out sipping martinis in the foyer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's a foyer? You know.
Yeah.
So this time I thought I'm going to dress up and look as best as I can, and I looked like a jackass. I an old bald jackass.
You didn't look like a jackass.
No,
you never
me.
look bad when you dress up. Look at me.
You could look bad. Trust me. That's all I got. Let's end this. Let's get this ball rolling.
All right, guys, we'll be back for the... actually, the stream is not going to stop. So if you're watching on the stream, we'll continue.
The stream goes all night.
Yeah.
Woo! It doesn't.
It doesn't.